Hello guys and welcome to Geek4Geeks. In this video, we are going to talk about functions in Go programming language. I hope you are excited, so let's get started. Go makes it easier to declare your own functions. You do so by using the func keyword followed by the name you want the function to have. So, we will name this function my function. Then, you include a pair of parentheses followed by a code block in the curly braces that gets run when the function is called. So, on this function, my function, we will just make a call to the println function and we will pass up the string running my function. Once you have declared a function, you can call it by typing the function name, my function, followed by a pair of parentheses again. So, save this and run it down here in the console. The main function gets called when the program is run and then it makes a call to the my function, which then prints out the string running my function. You can see that down here on the output, the rules for naming function are the same as they are for variables. If you want to know more, you can check out our previous video on variables. A function name has to start with a letter. A capital letter means the function is exported from the current package, whereas lowercase letter means it's unexported, that is not visible outside the current package. And again, there are conventions that if a function name has multiple words, then all the words after the first should begin with the capital letter. If we try to refer to a function name from outside the package, we are only allowed to refer to the function that has been exported. That is, those whose names begin with the capital letter. If we try to refer to a non-exported function, we will get a compile time error saying cannot refer to an unexported name. If you want your function to accept parameters, you can declare those within the parentheses when declaring the function. A parameter is just like any other variable. You need to give it a name and you need to declare a type for it. If you need a function to accept multiple parameters, you can separate those with commas. If you have multiple parameters of the same type, you can just list the type of all the parameters. So up here, we make calls to the functions we have declared and pass arguments into each of those parameters. Let's try running this real quick. So here, we will call the square function which multiplies the number by itself, then prints the value out. So 3 times 3 is 9. Here we will call the add function and we pass it arguments of 2 and 4, which it adds together and prints the result out. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And here we will call the subtract. We pass up the arguments 10 and 3. It subtracts 3 from 10, which gives us the result of 7. And since we declare the type of all the parameters that allow Go to enforce the use of correct arguments. So for example, if we were to try to pass a string to the square function and then try to run this, we will get an error. Cannot use the type string as a type int as an argument to the square function. There's certain features for method declaration that you may be used in other programming language, but Go omits in order to keep the method call simple, clear and fast. Go does not allow default values for parameters. It does not allow you to name parameters and it doesn't allow method overloading. That means declaring multiple methods with the same name but different parameters. That means that when you call a method, you're always going to use the same number of arguments in the same place. The goal here is to make calling methods simple, clear and fast. And of course, as in most other programming language, functions can return value. So let's suppose that we wanted to update all these functions to return a value instead of simply printing the value out. We will set up a square function to return an int by specifying the int type here following the parenthesis. And then instead of taking the number times itself and printing that, we are going to return the value using the return keyword. You can set up a variable to hold a return value, which is also known as naming the return value. Sometimes that's useful as documentation. So if we want to do that, we place parentheses here after the parentheses that accept the parameter for the function. And we provide a name for the return value. So we will call this one sum, and of course its type is going to be float64. Since we are adding two float64 numbers together, and then as before, instead of printing the value out, we'll just return it. If you have named a return value, then you can use what's called a bare return. So let's name the return value for the subtract function to be difference, and it's going to have a type of float64 that sets up a variable that we can assign to, and then that value will be used as our return. So we can say the difference is equal to a minus b, and then that allows us to use a bare return here at the end of the function. So we can just use the return keyword all by itself, and that will, since we have set difference up as a name return value, that's the value that will be returned. So let's save this, and up here in the main function, now that we are returning value, we need to print them out up here. So we will say format.println. We will print the return value of square. We better change that back to an acceptable type. So we will say square of 3, and then fmt.println add 2, 4 and fmt.println subtract 10, 3. Subtract 10 from 3, save that, run it, and there's our result. The square of 3 and 3 is 9, the result of adding 2 and 4 is 6, and the result of subtracting 3 from 10 is 7. The values were returned from each of the function call up here in the main function, and we printed each one of them. If you were to add a statement after the return statement within a function, that line of code would never be breached. Go protects you from this sort of situation by giving you a compile error. So let's suppose that we were to add a call to fmt.println down here after the return statement within the square function. Let's try running that, and you will get a compile error, missing return at the end of function. So if a function is supposed to return a value, you need to ensure that the last statement of the function is a return statement. I guess that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If so, drop a like. See you in the next video. Happy coding until then.